Hey everyone, this video is for anyone who has never ever used AI before, or maybe has played around with a little bit, but would like some help with prompting the AI or asking the AI questions. In my experience working with teams, I've come to realize that just a lot of people have never even experimented with it, and just playing with it is the best way to learn how to use it. So this video is for you if you just want to get started and don't know how to begin. Let's go over to my computer and we'll get started. Usually the first question people ask me when they're asking about AI is which AI should they use? The good news is if you're using it just for your personal use, it doesn't really matter. If you already have a Google account, you could use Google's. If you have a Microsoft account, you could use Microsoft's. A lot of people use ChatGPT. All of those are just fine for personal use. And what we're going to explore today is applicable to any of those three AI. We call them models. And so it doesn't matter. If you're using it for your work use, you should talk to whoever's involved in technology in your work about which one is approved for work use. But in this instance, we're just going to get started and I'll show you how to get to all three of those. And I'll put links down below this video. If you can just click on those links, then it'll take you right to these. So if you want to use Google's is called Gemini, gemini.google.com. And you'll see that takes me right to what kind of looks like the Google search page. It's a very clean website, and it's got a place for you to type things. That's called the prompt window. It's where you put in your prompt. And that's a prompt is just what we use in AI for what we give the messages and the text, and you can even give it documents and images. Whatever you give to the AI, that's a prompt. If you want to use Microsoft, it's called Copilot. So if I just type in Copilot into a Google search, the first result is Microsoft Copilot, and you'll see it takes you to a website that looks just like Gemini's. Or if you want to use ChatGPT, that's chatgpt.com, CHAT, ChatGPT. I'm just going to put ChatGPT, and there it is, the first result. So all three of them look very similar. They all have these prompt windows. I'm going to work in Gemini. And so then, now that you've decided which one you want to play around with, by the way, playing is the right way to learn about these tools. Now you need to say, what should I ask? And the thing is, you can just ask it anything. And if you don't know what to ask, you can ask what to ask. But let's do something very simple, something people have been using for the internet for a very long time. And we'll just say, what is the weather in Salinas, California? That's where I am right now. I can tell you what the weather is because I could look out the window. It's raining. And so it's thinking about the answer, and it says it's light showers. So in this instance, it gave me an accurate answer. There have been lots of talk, and if you've heard about AI, that it sometimes gives you wrong answers. That's certainly possible, but it happens less and less frequently than it used to. And these AI models have just gotten better and better at giving accurate information. This is not a particularly hard question for AI to answer. It gave me the rain. It says it's raining, and it gives me the weather for the rest of the day. And you'll notice that it gives a pretty clean answer, one that's really easy to read. So there's the weather. We could ask it another question. I'm thinking of, oh, I had a typo there. I'm gonna leave that typo there, because the other thing is it usually will understand when you type something incorrectly or if you spell something wrong. I actually don't spend a lot of time worrying about any errors I put into it, because very often it just works. So I'm going to leave that there, and we'll see if it still understands it. I'm thinking of going for a hike this weekend. What do you think? And let's just see how it responds. You can just chat with this just like you would send a message to a friend. It's worthwhile to think about this as your own personal AI assistant. So um, if you can imagine a world where you have your own personal assistant that you can chat to, that's a good way to think about this. In a previous video, I discussed that AI is not a conscious being. It doesn't have feelings or intentions. It's just a computer program that has analyzed lots of different words and is able to come up with answers based upon all of the words that it has analyzed. So it says, a hike this weekend is a bit of a mixed bag for Salinas. Now, how did it know I might go on a hike in Salinas? Well, it knew that because of the context, meaning the context is a word we use in AI, and that is for all of the information that we have given it. And in this chat session with AI, I asked for the weather in Salinas. So the answer assumed that I would probably go for a hike in Salinas. By the way, there is incredible hiking in Salinas. It's my favorite thing to do. While Saturday looks decent for getting outside, Sunday might be a washout. Okay, that might be valuable information. Just like the weatherman, AI doesn't know for sure what the weather is going to be, but it can predict the likelihood of a good day to hike. And it predicted for me that Saturday was the day to go for a hike. And so it gave me the weather summary again. And then it also gives me some recommendations for some hikes around my area based upon the context I had given it in the previous chat. So here it gave me a nice looking table for different types of hike that I might want to go on. So this is going to be really information. If you go on, here's a pro tip. If you go on Saturday, bring layers. Even if it's raining, the 74% humidity and southwest winds will make that 58 degrees feel a little colder than usual. All right, then I'll bring some layers. That's good advice. Thank you, Gemini, for making that recommendation. What a lot of people do with AI is have them help them write like email messages to their friends. So I'm going to ask it to help me write an email. Can you help me write an email to my friends about the hike in Toro Park? I'm going to choose Toro Park. It's one of my favorite spots. Toro Park. And then I'm going to hit enter. And writing an email for a group hike is all about setting expectations, especially when the weather is playing hard to get. Okay, so it's making sure it's making a recommendation. So here's the email subject: Saturday night at Toro Park ? It even threw in a little hiking emoji for me to make that email a little more engaging. Hi everyone, I'm thinking about heading out for a hike this Saturday, February 14th. And I'd love for you all to join. The plan is to hit Toro Park in Salinas. Since we've had some rain this week, Saturday looks like our best window. And then there's more details. And the thing is, like, I like to write in my own voice, and this is maybe a little different than I would write. So the way I think about writing with AI is that it just gives me ideas of what I might want to include, including the weather and then some other suggestions. Look, it even said what I should recommend to my friends to bring along. Saturday hiking boots. The clay soil gets slippery. This is really interesting. So I know, because I spent a lot of time in Toro Park, that a lot of the trails do have a lot of clay in the soil. So that's why it recommended it. I might not have thought about telling them about the soil makeup of that park. And Gemini helped me remember to add that bit of information in my email to my friends. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll send out a final confirmation on Friday evening once we see the updated trail conditions. Best your name. So if I wanted to put this into an email, I could just copy and paste it, select the text that I want to use, and then hit Command C on my computer. Anyway, then I can throw that into an email. One of my favorite ways to use AI is to uh, think of it as an expert coach in something that I don't have a lot of expertise in. You can learn a lot from AI and get tips on a variety of topics: uh, plumbing, electricity, interacting with other people, how to resolve conflicts. In this chat, I'm going to ask for some help with my dog. I've got a dog who's about 9 months old, and this dog likes to bark at other dogs. And if I'm taking my dog on a hike, I don't want it to bark too much at another dog. So I'm going to ask for some advice on that. And I'm going to show you how to actually talk to it rather than type to it. I'm a medium fast typer, but I found that I can talk more quickly and more efficiently when I use the microphone feature. So here in Gemini, there's a little microphone button right here, and I'm just going to start recording. Oh, look, it's listening to me right now. So I'm going to stop that and wait until I actually want to send that prompt. Hey Gemini, I'm thinking about bringing my dog on this hike. She's a small dog, but she loves to bark at other dogs when we go on hikes. And I want to learn how to help her not as bark as much and not act that way because it's awkward when I run into other people. Can you give me some advice? And now it's going to give me an answer. Let's see what it has to say. That's a very common challenge, especially with small dogs. It's often called leash reactivity. I've never heard that term before. Now I'm learning something new. I've got a new language in my vocabulary: leash reactivity. For many small dogs, barking is a big way of saying, I'm small and a little nervous, so please stay away. This is one of my favorite things about AI is it allows me to have a better sense about what others may be thinking. And because it's trained on the AI knows about a lot of different personalities, including personalities that I don't have. I don't get too nervous around other dogs, but my little dog Yoshi does get nervous around other dogs, and it helps me understand what might be on Yoshi's what Yoshi is feeling in that instance. AI is really good at teaching me how to become more empathetic to other people and apparently other animals. So, since Toro Park requires a 6-foot leash at all times, here is some advice on how to handle that situation. Master the threshold. The most important rule is reactivity is distance. Every dog has a threshold, the distance at which they spot another dog and can no longer stay calm. There, that's another thing that I didn't know, and now I know it. Notice this little link at the end of that sentence. This actually shows me where Gemini found that particular answer. I'm going to click on that and see what it has to say. So here, a beginner's guide to helping your reactive dog get better. So there's this website called Three Lost Dogs, and if I wanted to read more about what they have to say, I could click on that and we'll open up and it'll actually show me where it got its information. And so it got it from this website. Each reactive dog has a threshold, the point at which her trigger will make her react, capital R. And you'll see that it's going to give me lots of other advice. And so after this video, I'm going to dig into this and practice with little Yoshi and see if we can help her be more calm and help me better calm my dog and be a better dog trainer for that little Yoshi. Trail etiquette for reactive dogs. I can't wait to learn more. I'm going to keep doing more videos about how to get started with AI. And so my recommendation for you is to choose one of these models. Again, the link is below this video to get to any of these. Choose one that you like. And I encourage you to play around with it.